And there's a big break in a small-town murder mystery.
Curtis Wylesky died 12 years ago. His body found at a ditch off County Highway Z in a rural part of Columbia County just outside Fall River. The case seemingly went cold until today. Investigators announced they're close to making an arrest. New at 10, the victim's son spoke only to the 19th Jennifer Hoff about this turn of events. Jennifer?
Eric, this is actually the first time that Chris Wylesky interviewed about his father's case and calls this new lead the most significant since his dad died.
Curtis Wylesky loved the outdoors.
Fishing in Canada. Fishing in Canada is one of my favorite memories of my dad.
It was appropriate then that 12 years ago his son laid him to rest in a secluded cemetery south of Beaver Dam.
I still deal with it today.
Curtis's body was first found 15 miles from his final resting place. It was in a ditch off rural Highway Z. Investigators shared these photos of his truck still sitting at the scene then, a part of an investigation that has since gone cold.
That's something that you can't explain to somebody. You know, you have to go through that in order to understand what it feels like.
You take it personal. This is somebody's loved one that there's no closure, not only for them, but for us.
Except for some scratches on Curtis, the sheriff's office had few leads. They figured he'd been in a fight and the suspect was an acquaintance. Chris said that's likely, considering his father was a well-known roofer, but one without any enemies.
There's got to be other people out there that know more than just, you know, that they're just not saying anything.
12 years have passed, and any information that they may have seen or heard could be critical in this case.
It could help investigators finally close the case. That new technology has warmed up. They recently re-examined reports and evidence like blood samples that are being tested at the state crime lab. But whether they'll be tied to the person of interest Sheriff Richard said he's interviewed twice remains unseen. And so Chris Wylesky waits until his dad gets the justice he deserves.
You know, after 12 years, you know, that's a long time. You start to think that, you know, it's never going to happen, you know, but eventually you're like, when you do get the call or something like that, you know, you kind of get really excited, you know, it's breathtaking.
The sheriff is waiting on test results before he can make any arrests. He's also already met with the district attorney. Neither he nor Chris would speculate on a motive or say how Curtis might have died in fear of jeopardizing a conclusion to this case that really, guys, is 12 years in the making.
Hopefully get some answers and Chris gets some closure out of this.
Follow up on that if we hear.
Absolutely. Jennifer, thank you.
Yep.